GMGP, good morning, good people. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all decided to wake up with us. You're sick. You're sick in the head. There's a lot of fantasy football shows out there, but I promise y'all, they not like us. Brock Bowers, you looked a little quicker than fast. What does that even mean? Redraft, dynasty, best ball, high stakes, we got you covered. And that's MVS and Justin Watson with some of the dopest tools designed to help you cancel out the noise and dominate your leagues. If there's a white wide receiver named Antoine, sign me up. Maybe it's cultural. I don't know. In season or off season, rain, sleet, hail, and snow, comma, semicolon, period, next sentence, to bring you the most actionable and entertaining content on YouTube. You don't go buy the dip on the Titanic.
Quarterback that you love, D-Bro. One of the best values in fantasy football.
Prop bets with my man JRich.
Is that yes! Let's go!
So wipe the crust out of your eye, get you a cup of coffee. It's time to wake y'all asses up. We're Ray
and Jay
in the morning.
My God.
How good is
Dude,
he? How good is
GMGP. Good morning, good people. Ray is here. Don't worry. But it is JRich on the intro. He decided to throw it to me last minute. But how is everybody doing? It is, of course, a Would You Rather Wednesday with the chat. I've already posted the first poll, so make sure you go and vote. I will be posting much more throughout the day. How is everybody feeling after cut down day? I am here. Ray is here. I see Ricardo. I see Fredo. I see JR Enterprise. I see Jordan Baker, Zachary Kent, Weeze. Everyone is here.
We in the building, baby. We in the building. I'm back, Jay.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Like and subscribe.
Let's
Ray,
go.
Take over the show, baby.
Let's go, baby. Appreciate you, JRich. GMGP. What's good with the people, man? I see you, Zach, James Young, Fredo, Jacob, Jimbo, Jay Sully, KS Scientist, or rapper. GMGP to you, my dog. Big dog, I see you flexing out here. Jackson Tribe, what's up? Garrison, Ricardo, JR Enterprise, Greg, Garrison, Keegan. Let's see what Keegan's got to say today, man. We got the family in the building. Appreciate y'all. If you're new, we have a good time every time. Hit the thumbs up button, like the stream, like the content, subscribe to the channel. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, JRich. We got a lot to talk about. Hit the music, Jay. Hit the music. Kill the music. Kill the music. Kill the music. Appreciate you, Jay, for holding it down for you, boy. I needed that coffee this morning. We're running on fumes over here, JRich. We're running on straight gasoline fumes right now. Smelling the hell out of that gas when you pump it, man. How you doing this morning?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's funny that almost every day it feels like you complain that the music is not long enough. And as it's about to end, you tell me to kill the music as I'm ready to fade it out for you. It's crazy. You know, you're very off kilter today. But I'm excited, man. This is gonna be a good show. It's gonna be fun.
Wake
the hell up, Ray. No excuses.
Don't start
for the
with
people.
Your shit this morning, man. It felt like it was about to be a wild one on Monday. Don't start, Jay. Don't start. We're here, baby. No excuses. We're in the building. You're right. No excuses. We're in the building. People are asking, why is Jacksonville trading for a wide receiver?
Well,
don't get JRich and his conspiracy theory brain started about fears and concerns about Travis Hunter, Ladd or Reek. Why not both? Ray decided whether or not WWE is worth the ESPN subscription. Hell yeah, it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. We're glad you're in the building. If you missed any of the content from me on the channel over the past couple of days, make sure you pull up, man. Right here on the channel, you can find myself and Matt Harmon. We were on Yahoo on Monday, JRich, right after our wake-up show. Panic meter, 12 players we were or were not nervous about going into the season. You see right there, Devon Achane. I'm sure we'll talk some Miami Dolphins through the show. Matthew Stafford, the fallout with the back and everything that's going on with old Stafford. And then also, man, we are days away, JRich, days away. College football, man. I'm ready. Tomorrow, it officially kicks off. We got games on Thursday. We got games on Friday. And then Saturday, we've got the big dogs playing. Sunday, we've got Notre Dame and Miami. Just a good weekend of football, man. Like, we're back. Look, football is all the way back. We got NFL starting in, 9 days, 8 days for the NFL regular season opener, Cowboys and Eagles. Don't get me started there either, man. It's the vibes. The vibes in Dallas, JRich, are not good right now. The vibes.
Are they better or worse than when they traded Luka? Because it feels like we're trending right down that same path once again.
Man, that's interesting. I would say
Cowboys are kind of bigger, right? So
wouldn't Luka's probably the bigger known, is the more known star. He's more well known than Mike. I think he's the bigger
he
star.
kind of is, but for Cowboy, like I think the problem is that nationally and especially globally, I would 100% agree. But if we're talking about like the Dallas market, the answer actually might be Micah.
I think
for Dallas Cowboy fans in Dallas, like Dallas media,
I would say it's the QB. It's really the quarterback. Sure. I know people be shitting on Dak Prescott, but it's the QB. I would say Luka getting traded is a bigger deal because he was the franchise. But this will compound on that. And listen, I don't know what to make of the Micah stuff because they're saying if Green Bay really has this offer out there for him, it's tampering. You can't do that kind of stuff. You can't negotiate with the player while he's under contract. But then, like, it's starting to get more and more steam.
It's a rumor, though.
Adam Schefter is saying he doubts he's even on the damn field come week one. Schottenheimer saying he's going to need ramp-up time. I'm just going to say the vibes are bad. I mean, this is a Philadelphia. If you got your Eagles, I know we are days away from start-sit. Fire them up. Every last one of them. Will Shipley, too. Saquon's going to have so many yards. They're going to pull him out of the game in the third quarter. Don't even need him in the fourth. Like, just fire up Goddard, Smitty, A.J. Brown, Hurts, Barkley. Didn't they trade for John Mechie? Hell, you might be able to throw him out there.
They did trade for John
the
Mechie.
Vibes are not good, JRich. The vibes ain't good.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. It's a long way to go. We did see some extensions, so maybe there is hope on the horizon for Dallas. But
let's talk about
more that's talked about these situations, especially Micah's, it just seems like the worse it gets. But let's get to some.
Well, we got today is Would You Rather Wednesday, right? This is the show in the Would You Rather segment brought to you by the people. So make sure you go on YouTube and vote in the polls, right? We ain't running no Ann Seltzer over here. Go vote in the Wake Up Chat polls so we can get accurate Would You Rather information, JRich. I'm not looking at nothing. I don't know who you've got me going up against. I just know I got Tyreek Hill. I've got to go to bat for Tyreek Hill. I've got to figure out, do I want Tyreek Hill over this or that? Are we doing at cost redraft, right? At cost redraft.
We are doing for the 2025 season, yes. So at cost, you can do at cost if you want, but yeah, for redraft purposes only.
Redraft purposes. Okay, well, go vote. Go vote. Make the poll good. Go vote. Tyreek Hill is the contestant, but JRich, as always, right after the goddamn show on Monday, immediately after that, news broke, right? News broke, JRich, and one of the players that we've been talking about, is he going to be there? Is he not? They're going to get it done. They're not going to pay him. They are going to pay him. Well, we found out that JD5's got his man back. JD5, Jayden Daniels, has his guy back because Terry McLaurin was signed. JRich, Terry McLaurin is in the building. You see some of the numbers right here from 2024. 24 contested catches, first in the NFL. 10 touchdowns versus single man coverage, first in the NFL. 135.3 target rating when targeted, first in the NFL. He is locked up for 3 more years. 38 minutes ago, JRich, 38 minutes ago, you were wondering what the guarantees were. I see right here. Terry McLaurin's new deal, 3 years, $87 million, 29 per year. 44 guaranteed, jumps to 50 in 2027 with a $30 million signing bonus.
So he got even less than I thought he was going to get, basically, because we were projecting $30 million a year, hopefully 2 years, and they settled at 1.5. So they could still cut him next season, and they'd only lose $15 million. So basically, if you have McLaurin right now, you should expect him to hold out next offseason as well.
Why are you being so bearish? Why are you being...
Because this is how the NFL works, right? This is the same reason he held out the first time, because he was being paid $25 million. I don't know what his guarantees were left on that deal. He's already been paid 30. If he only has 44 million guaranteed, then he only has 14 million left after this season. So we should expect him to hold out again, should we not? Because the guaranteed money that these players fight for every offseason as they continue to produce isn't there. So, I mean, the good thing for him is that if you have him for this season, he's probably going to ball out because he's going to want more money, more guarantees, more this and more that. And I mean, we'll see. But yeah, like when you compare it to Sutton's deal, I want to say Sutton was what?
What does Sutton
40 million? I think he was 41 million or 42 million guaranteed.
Guaranteed? Okay.
It was less overall, but it was similar in terms of guarantees.
McLaurin is back. Okay. Yeah. Let's not pocket watch. Let's let him enjoy his, even if it was $5 million more. Whatever you want to call it. He's paid. He's in the building now. I don't think people were, concerned that he wasn't going to play this season. I don't think anybody had real concerns that McLaurin was going to hold out for the entirety of this season. But I think there started to be some rumor like, hey, could he potentially miss week 1? Would they trade him? Ultimately, they got it done. He's back in the building. We're not talking about a 1,500-yard receiver, JRich. I don't think that's what Terry McLaurin is. That's what in his range of outcome. I'm talking about a really good. Is this better for Jayden Daniels, though? This is absolutely better for JD5. I don't know if he wasn't really falling anywhere.
It's great for
but
Daniels.
It's just good for Daniels, right? To have his guy back in the building, even though he's missed a lot of time, missed all the training camp, damn near, right? If I'm not mistaken. He was out.
I don't think he's practiced at all.
Yeah,
right? So he's walking into basically our initial walkthroughs, early practices, early scouting for week 1. Again, he's a veteran, so he knows what he's doing, but is the fitness fully there? Do we fully expect him to be where he needs to be? And then there's also the element, Ray, of Deebo Samuel. Like, Deebo Samuel is a player that we're kind of excited to see what he can be in this Commanders offense. We know that the role that he plays fits very well stylistically to what Cliff Kingsbury did last season with much lesser players in terms of talent. And so knowing that McLaurin is now back on the field and will be available for week 1, how do you feel about kind of that split between McLaurin and Deebo early on in the season? Do you think we could see a bit more Deebo than we were expecting simply because the chemistry maybe, I don't want to say more there, but just the reps have been done throughout all of training camp practices, etc., to where maybe Deebo gets off to a hotter start.
I've heard some people talk about this. Harmon and I were talking about it. He was like, don't be a little shocked if he starts out slow because he hasn't been there. It's the same offense. It's the same quarterback. It's the same receiver. And like, who else are they going to throw to? Luke McCaffrey,
Yeah.
Ben Sinnott. It's going to be a healthy dose of Terry McLaurin, Zach Ertz, and Deebo Samuel. So whether he is, and I don't believe that Terry was just chilling, right? He wasn't not at Commanders camp, sitting around, watching TV, eating popcorn. Like, the dude was working. He knew a deal was going to get done. He was going to play football. I'm not as concerned about him starting off a little slow, but I get that. I get that if people have that fear. I think Deebo's going to be just as involved as he was going to be with or without Terry McLaurin. I don't believe that he was going to do some of the shit that Terry was going to do had he not been there. Like, Deebo was brought in to play a role, to do his thing. I think they're going to be fine. I've got little concern. It's JD5. It's Cliff Kingsbury. It's the same damn offense. Wheels up Terry McLaurin. Yep. Good for Terry. Got the job done. And shout out to Lando in the chat, _7, GMGP from the labor and delivery room in the hospital, man. Baby Lando coming soon. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing, baby. Congratulations. Congrats to you. Enjoy. Don't be having wake up on as wifey's trying to push that thing out, all right, man? Just pause us, come back. Congratulations. Wishing y'all nothing but the best, man. And to be here during that, you're a wild human being, but we love you. We love you, Jay. Yesterday, well, on the Monday show, I asked you, would you take Terry McLaurin or Courtland Sutton? And you said Courtland Sutton. So do you still feel that same way today? There was a lot of Courtland Sutton love out there. A lot of people saying they're in on Sutton for 2025. With the contract being done, everything that we know, would you change that answer? Would you take McLaurin over Sutton now that he's in the building?
No, I wouldn't. I feel the exact same way I did previously. I think Sutton could have a really big year. I understand he's a bit of a polarizing player. Some people are worried about Evan Ingram, and I get that. Evan Ingram probably will be good in this offense, but yeah, like, I just think that the bet on Sutton is a bet on a pretty damn high ceiling that some people just kind of don't see, and I get it, but
with the Cincinnati Bengals. You there, Jay? You're frozen up. You all right? You good?
I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, you were pretty frozen. Trey Hendrickson is in the building, Jay. 1-year deal, $14 million raise, so he didn't get the long-term extension he was looking for. But since he got the sack leader in the building, is this just make this defense much better? Is it Is it a formidable defense now? Is that what we got in Cincinnati with Trey Hendrickson in the building?
I mean, this is the defense that they had last year, right? He was still on the team last year, so we'll see. I mean, it's good for Hendrickson because he got a $14 million raise. He has an out after this, so we can go to free agency, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's good for him. He got this deal, and he can test the open market next year, and it's good for the Bengals because they have him on the team, right? Which is the most important thing for them.
Like, what's the point
for Joe Burrow?
Why wait?
That's the sentiment for both of these players, Ray. Like, these aren't crazy deals. Like, they could have got this done months ago.
Yeah.
Why did it take so long to give Terry McLaurin $44 million guaranteed, and for Trey Hendrickson to get a raise up to $30 million, which is more than fair given his sack production? It's kind of crazy, man.
This one seems like you should have just had him in the damn building weeks ago. And what are we? I don't get it. I don't understand it. I'm with you. I'm thinking the same thing in Dallas with Micah Parsons. Like, what is the issue? Why is it taking so long? And if the ultimate goal is to win, like delaying that shit to week 1, that doesn't give you the best chance to win. Not against Philadelphia. Get it done. You know you got to pay him. And from all reports out of Dallas, they know what the money is. They know he's going to be the highest non-paid quarterback in NFL history. We know what the dollars are. It's that pride, man. It's that pride. You got to put that pride to the side and be like, hey, I'm sorry. Let's come to the table. Let's get everybody in the room and let's hammer this out. Good for Cincinnati. I'm sure Bengals fans are happy they got Trey Hendrickson on the field. So good stuff right there. Trey Hendrickson in the building. Jay, another disgruntled receiver, I guess, disgruntled, but the reports came out that Raiders wide receiver Jakobi Meyers, JRich, Jakobi Meyers, he requested a trade. JRich, Jakobi Meyers requested a trade from the Las Vegas Raiders. What was this, yesterday that all this happened?
Yep.
Yesterday, Monday, this happened. Requested a trade, and the Raiders said, we will not oblige. We're not going to trade you. And then they turned around and did what?
They signed one of the oldest, crustiest, most washed receivers in the NFL, Ray. Former Raider, Amari Cooper. Obviously, Amari Cooper could probably play in the slot, even at his advanced age. But how do you feel knowing that not only did they say we're not trading you, after him, again, it's more of a wage dispute type thing. He sees players getting raises. He is being paid. Man, he's being paid a decent amount. He's got a $14 million cap hit this season. But he wants more money, right? He wants more money. They signed Amari Cooper, I assume, as an insurance policy for like $3.5 million. How do you feel the situation is going to play out in Las Vegas, knowing Jakobi wants out, and they already signed a player that theoretically could be his replacement?
Jay, this is one where I'm not buying it. Like, I'm not buying Cooper being a real fantasy asset. He wasn't very good last year. The dude consistently is banged up. Like, he hasn't been this. The name is awesome. And the idea of Alabama to Oakland Raiders, Amari Cooper, seems a lot better than the reality of former Bills, Browns, wherever else he played, Amari Cooper to the Las Vegas Raiders. This just seems it's a different time. He's saying that he always had it in the back of his mind to come back to the team that drafted him 10 years ago for unfinished business. I don't know what business he's got unfinished that he's going to finish this season with Las Vegas, but I think this speaks more to some of the depth pieces around the Raiders receiving core. Like, the starting receivers are going to be Deontay Thornton, Jakobi Meyers, and probably Amari Cooper. This probably does not bode well for Trey Tucker.
No Trey Tucker love?
Probably does not bode well for Trey Tucker, and it absolutely doesn't help out Jack Besh. But my biggest takeaway from all of this noise, I had reached out to somebody that covers the Raiders right when I heard Jakobi was requesting a trade. I reached out to somebody that I trust, that follows the Raiders, that does work with the Raiders, and I asked him, is this about money, or is this about Jakobi Meyers being unhappy with his role and how this new look offense is? This individual says, to me, I think it's more than money, and it has to do with how this offense is going to operate. The reason why I say that is because Jakobi Meyers, everybody is like, oh, this Jakobi Meyers role, right? Like, that was cool in New England when he was the only receiver there. That was fine last year when he was like the veteran pass catcher there. But going into year 2 of Brock Bowers and this new regime with Chip Kelly and what they want to do. When Chip was head coaching the Philadelphia Eagles, he was pushing the ball downfield and running the shit out of LaShawn McCoy. Like, I don't think that this idea of this Jakobi Meyers role in this Brock Bowers-led offense is what Jakobi Meyers really wants. I just asked one person their opinion. Was it all about money or is this about role? And they said they think and would believe it's got to do something with the role. This is Brock Bowers, man. Like, looking at all the noise. I love me some Deontay Thornton. We like Jakobi Meyers. Ashton Genty's going to do his thing. It's Brock Bowers time. Like, it is all this other shit is noise, man. This offense is about to flow through 8-9 and not Amari Cooper's old 89. Brock Bowers. It is flowing through Brock Bowers. And I don't know if you can take him high enough, especially in those tight end premium leagues. I don't know if you can take him high enough. I'm expecting just ridiculous shit from Bowers this year. It's Bowers season, man, for real.
So you think Bowers, you just take him as tight end 1 at this point? Like, you know, there's been talks of Kittle. We like Trey McBride.
Yeah, we do.
You think this kind of gives you the inkling, the feeling that it should just be Brock Bowers no matter what at this point?
Yeah, yeah. Kevin said, what is the Jakobi Meyers role? A slow slot possession receiver? Okay, whatever. I'm Bowers. It's about to be a lot of Brock Bowers. JRich, he's the most dangerous offensive weapon that they have. The offense should be built around him. It shouldn't be built through Amari Cooper or Deontay Thornton or Jakobi Meyers. It's a strong running game with Ashton Genty, and it's getting the ball to Brock Bowers. Flow the offense through Brock Bowers. Yes, that's what I believe it will be.
All right. I can't really disagree.
And that is, and let me answer your question though. That does not mean if you say, you know what, Ray, I still want Trey McBride as tight end 1. I'm taking Trey McBride. I'm not gonna fight you. I'm not gonna argue you. If you want to take Trey McBride, he ought to be in for a ridiculous damn season 2, Jay. George Kittle, same, right? Maybe he's kind of that third one that can ascend to 1. He was tight end 1 last year. But yeah, I'm Brock Bowers, dude.
Interesting. Yeah, because like it shouldn't move the needle, but I hear you connecting the dots, and it does make a lot of sense. Like it does. And this is a player that had 150 targets last year.
Yeah, 153.
And we're talking about him getting more
like
this year.
Yeah.
And potentially down the
better
field.
And better.
And kind
more
of
and better.
utilize the way he was at Georgia, pushing the ball down the field, yards after catch, like not just being an option, but being a real weapon and threat down the field as the primary option for this passing attack.
And Jay, let's be real. He was amazing last year, right? He was awesome last year. He's a freaking rookie, dude. He was a rookie. You don't think he's going to figure some shit out? Like, get a little bigger, get a little faster, get a little stronger, understand the concepts. We got a new offense. They're going to deploy me differently. Go look at what Chip Kelly had Nick Foles doing when he was the quarterback 2013, 2014. He was top 3 in the NFL in pushing the ball downfield. Like, they want to get deep. They want to throw it deep. And then all of that was happening while LaShawn McCoy was running through the NFL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
so,
you could say, it's that the line is different. That Chip wants to do, man. This is what Chip wants to do. And Chip, that was what he was brought in to do. And Geno Smith's ability to do that, I can't speak to what my Raiders defense is going to look like. I can't speak to it. But offensively, we're tooled up. I think we're going to have a very good offense in Las Vegas this year.
How good, though? Like, would you be willing to take bigger bets on Deontay Thornton because Jakobi Meyers may not be a big part of this offense, may not even be on the team, or you just...
No, he's going to be on
this. Strictly a
They already
Bowers
said he's not
argument.
trading him. They're not trading his ass. They said, why would they trade him? You're going to play for this $11 million, and you're going to like it. And you know what happened? After you request that trade on Tuesday, you know who was on the field with Amari Cooper and Brock Bowers and Deontay Thornton? Jakobi Meyers was right out there in practice. He's got no leverage. You're going to play on this $11 million tag, and if you want to dip after this year, if you don't want to, we'll figure it out, but you're going to play. And honestly, for us in fantasy, we don't want no damn receiver getting traded right now. That would not be good. We don't want Myers. Good. People talking about sending him to New England. I'm like, I don't want that. Like, no thank you. Like, stay where you're at.
Got too much Pop Douglas, eh, Ray?
Yeah, go play your slot role, man. Go play your slot role. So, yeah, Jakobi Meyers, he'll be with the Raiders, man. Amari Cooper, any interest? Like, honestly, any interest? Are you putting in waiver claims this morning for Amari Cooper?
No, I'm not. I do agree with you that maybe Geno can unlock a couple good games from Cooper here or there. Maybe he's not like completely washed, but for a season-long type of look ahead to where you're putting in waiver claims and you want to use them a bit more longer term, I don't see the opportunity. And I still believe, like, even with Cooper on the team, it doesn't mean that he's going to have a role in the offense. You know, like, I still think there's a world where the guys that have been there and have been in the offense and are learning the system, like, they're going to be the ones on the field. Maybe down the line, Cooper can work in a bit more, but they just signed the guy, and he was doing nothing before. So to think he's going to be on the field week 1, it's a bit far-fetched for me.
Somebody says $6 fab. Bayou said, no, thank you. Stop. Never. Geno doesn't throw to tight ends. Okay. We're not even going to get into that. Deontay Thornton or Luther Burden this year. Thornton or Burden? It's pretty easily Thornton for me this year.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Thornton. I think it has to be. He's just doing too much even in the preseason that you're like, he should have, 80 targets this season? If he's just
Thornton?
healthy and on the field? Yeah.
I don't, he's going to be you'd rather have him in best ball for sure. I'm going to use that little cliche.
Yeah.
You'd rather not have to pick and choose, but I mean, hell, Geno's going to throw the ball downfield. I think Thornton is he's fine. Like, I'm fine with Deontay Thornton this year, man. Straight up.
Yeah.
JRich, do not draft list. We have not talked about this team a lot. We have not talked about this player a lot, but it was official. He was placed on the PUP list, so he is going to be out a minimum of 4 games. And we are talking about Houston Texans running back Joe Mixon, who still, for those of you who may be new to the show, you got drafts this week, you got a couple of drafts this weekend. That ADP on Sleeper is still, it's still high. JRich, he's still in that range where you're like, oh man, have my league mates have they made a mistake? They let this Joe Mixon fall to me. No, thank you, JRich. Texans are not activating running back Joe Mixon by Tuesday's 4 p.m. deadline. It didn't happen, making him ineligible to play at least the first 4 games of the season due to an ankle injury. Mixon will be moved to the reserve non-football injury list, which automatically rules him out for at least 4 games. This is just a big no. I don't want him. Jay, I think I've drafted over the summer until now. I think I've got 2 or 3 Mixons. I know for sure one of them was a damn auto pick. I just auto drafted into him, right? And the other one was just, well, if he's okay, I'll take there is no falling knife. He is a do not draft this weekend, heading into the week, completely out on Joe Mixon, right?
Yeah, I mean, everything we've heard is do not draft Joe Mixon basically no matter what. There's already, I mean, we heard what feels like 2 weeks ago, the fears that he could end up on the PUP to start the season, which means he's missing the 4 games. Now that's been confirmed. And we also heard that there's a world where he misses the entire season.
Yeah.
And it's that bad. And even when you just go to D'Amico Ryans' comments about Joe Mixon, he's like, he likes who we have in the building, and he thinks they can get us through potentially this season. Right? And like, you don't want to hear a head coach say that
again. What was that? What did he say? We like who we have, and we think we got enough that could get us through the season pretty much. We got enough bodies.
He literally said season.
Yes, season.
Joe Mixon, who's on the NFI list for an injury that we don't even know what it is, he's been in the walking boot, and we've heard that behind the scenes it's not good, potentially, and even with that, we're like, okay, well, maybe he's not going to miss the first 4 games, and it's all just, we'll see. Now he's missing 4 games, and D'Amico Ryans is saying he likes who we have in the building, and potentially to get us through the season. Like, that is telling you that he could definitely miss the season, the entire season. And even if it's just 10 weeks, 12 weeks, that's basically the fantasy season. So at that point, why on earth would you be drafting Joe Mixon at all? Like, there's just no world where you should draft him.
It's a no. It's a no.
Yeah.
My bigger question.
Do you draft Chubb?
That's what I was about to ask. Do you draft any of them?
I think the answer is Nick Chubb.
Really?
I don't want it to be Nick Chubb. I think the answer is Nick Chubb. I don't think it's Dameon Pierce. Like, I just don't.
Ugh.
Nick Chubb is inevitable. Whether you think he's dust, whether you think he's had too many knee injuries, maybe he'll be all right.
I just want to see where he's going. Let me find the range of Nick Chubb. Let's find Nick Chubb, RB 51. right now, JRich. RB 51. I'm just looking at the names around him. Oh, man. Tyjae Spears is on IR. Algier, Blue.
Also missing 4 games, yeah.
Would you take any of these guys over Nick Chubb right now? Ollie Gordon. Ollie or Nick Chubb?
I'd probably consider Ollie Gordon over Nick Chubb.
I would take Ollie.
I'd probably consider Ollie Gordon over Nick Chubb.
Okay.
Just for the upside, if everything goes right for
You'll
Ollie.
talk yourself into the upside.
You know the upside just isn't there for Chubb. It's just probably not. But the thing is, right, if he scores week 1, you made the stupidest mistake ever, because Nick Chubb found the end zone and only had like 40 yards on 12 carries. But man, they got to the one, they gave it to Nick Chubb, and he pounded his way into the end zone.
There aren't many more to ask because it's dirty after this. Najee Harris or Chubb? Everything we know right now, we'll talk about here. You would take Chubb over Harris? Okay.
Yes.
Chubb or Rachaad White?
Ooh, Rachaad White injured. I don't believe he ended up on the PUP.
I don't think
I think the answer is Rachaad White.
Chubb or Ford? Jerome Ford.
I would take Jerome Ford.
Chubb or Rico Dowdle?
I would probably take Chubb.
And then Chubb or Woody Marks? You would take Chubb over Woody?
Yeah, I would take Chubb
okay.
just simply for the touchdown upside.
Chubb or B-Rob?
I think I would take Chubb. Would you really take the backup in San Francisco over like the hopeful starter? Hopeful starter? Rolling with John is taking Najee. Ray, should we be taking Najee over Chubb?
Well, let's talk about it. Najee apparently, JRich, is on track to play week 1. Is this correct?
Well,
Najee Harris.
I would not.
Najee Harris on track to play.
Put it that way.
Well,
I would not.
Is that what we
put it
heard?
That way.
Is that what we heard?
We heard that he did not end up on the PUP list, so that means he is not going to miss the first 4 games. And
Jordan Schultz. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up here, so you can get your source of truth. Jordan Schultz, your source of truth. Jordan Schultz, right? The Chargers
said the Chargers have activated running back Najee Harris off the NFI list, the non-football injury list, making him eligible to play as early as week 1 versus the Chiefs in Brazil.
Bell Cow Najee. Bell Cow Najee is back, JRich, coming to haunt those Omarion Hampton chairs, eh?
He can't even open his eye, to our knowledge.
You don't know that.
I said to our knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen a photo of him with his eye open yet?
I have not seen his eyes. I have not looked that man in his eyes yet. No. He's got that Charleston white eye. I have not seen him yet. No.
So, my conspiracy theory for everyone who wants to hear it.
Let's hear it.
He can still end up on the PUP list. Like, just because they didn't put him on the PUP list now doesn't mean that he can't still go on the PUP list. So let's just remember that. Every player who is not currently on the PUP list can still be placed on the PUP list prior to the season, and they would miss the 4 games. So they're giving Najee 2 weeks to see if he's available. We still know that they want to have him active for week 1. It does seem a little far-fetched for me to see him active for week 1, but maybe he doesn't miss the entire season. Or, sorry, doesn't miss the full 4 games, and that's why you wouldn't put him on the PUP list. But, Ray, if he's available for week 1, would you start him?
Najee Harris?
Yeah. Because that's the number one question everyone's going to ask. If he is ready to go week 1, and he practices all week, and they're saying maybe Tuesday he's playing.
I'd probably put him in a damn flex spot and take them 6 points he gives me and be pissed off.
Right? Because they're still playing the Chiefs. So it's not like it's, whether you got Hampton or you got Harris, both those guys are going to struggle probably week 1. And if you don't project that, you're really not even you're not thinking beyond your draft at that point. But I think that's going to be the question is would you start Najee if he's active on game day? Because he may even start the game. If he actually has a full week of practice.
They'll put him out there.
Najee's starting.
They'll start him.
They'll give him many men.
No doubt.
They'll give him the Brian Robinson treatment, and he'll be the comeback story of the year.
Come back because you blew your eye out? I mean.
Hey, man. Geno Smith came back from sucking.
I would. Yeah, he's a running back, dude. He's a running back. So if he's active on week 1, the Chargers plan to play and start Najee Harris week 1 or play him. Who's looked good in the back? I mean, there's been nothing. We've gotten no good information about this damn backfield all preseason because none of them have played. Hampton took like 4 carries, didn't do shit. Najee hasn't been available. Kamani Vidal is about to be cut. Rocket Sanders got cut. It's about to be Hassan Haskins season in LA.
Yeah, literally.
I mean, for real, man.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. But this has been the hardest backfield to figure out, just because, like, man, are we really gonna just jam him in the lineup week 1, knowing everything that went on? Probably.
Depending on when you drafted, you probably ain't got no choice. You probably have no choice but to play him. So if he's starting, if they're gonna put him out there and play him, and he's gonna get touches, you're probably in a spot where you're gonna put him in a flex spot. You know, you probably, unless you start 8, start 7, then no, I wouldn't start him. Tyjae Spears is going on the PUP list. He is hurt. JRich, Tyjae Spears, surprise. Once again, always hurt. Every year, it's something with Tyjae Spears. We like the talent. We were all in years ago. It's Tony Pollard, right? Tony Pollard and Khalil Mullings season.
Yeah, if you have Tony Pollard, probably a top 10 running back start the season. When Tyjae Spears was hurt, he was the guy. He got 20 carries a game. He was catching passes. If you believe Cam Ward is the real deal, then they should have a better offense this season. Like, despite how bad Will Levis and Mason Rudolph were, Tony Pollard was actually pretty good last year. And this offensive line should be better. Hopefully the pass catchers deliver a little bit more than we saw from them last year. Like, there's a lot of reasons why you should be very excited for Tony Pollard the first 4 weeks. And if Spears misses any more time, even more reason to draft him. I think he's going to drastically outperform his ADP. So if you haven't drafted yet, Tony Pollard's probably a steal.
You want to hear some players ahead of Tony Pollard right now? Tony Pollard currently RB 24, JRich. Would you rather have Tony Pollard or DeAndre Swift?
Ooh, I will take Tony Pollard. That's tough, though. I like Swift.
Tony Pollard or RJ Harvey?
I'm going to take Tony Pollard.
Pollard or James Conner?
I think Arizona opens with the Saints, though.
Ooh.
But I will take Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard over Conner. Okay. I think we're getting into a tough range here. There's a couple that maybe the ADPs are flip-flop. Tony Pollard or Alvin Kamara?
I think you got to take Kamara.
I'm taking Kamara.
But it feels so dirty, man. Like Spencer Rattler, a quarterback.
I know. We'll get there. We'll get there. Tony Pollard or Breece Hall?
I would take Tony Pollard.
You take Pollard over Breece?
For sure. Yeah.
Tony Pollard or Hendo? Travion Henderson?
It's got to be Hendo. Raiders week 1, easy.
Pollard or James Cook? And we'll stop there. Pollard or James Cook?
Am I crazy for thinking Pollard could outscore James Cook?
The projections aren't that far off. I'm just based on the projections. They're
I think
10
it's
points
well
apart.
Within the range of outcomes. I think it is.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is a
Pollard, man.
You're taking Pollard over James Cook
a bit. I'm kind of fading Cook a bit this year.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm with you. I think Tony Pollard, he's quietly just been really good. He's been buried in Tennessee. Yeah. Tennessee kind of stinks. I guess the real question is, how good do you think Cam Ward's going to be able to elevate this offense that you look around outside of Calvin Ridley, man, there's just not a lot to get excited about offensively for the Titans. It's Calvin Ridley. I'm not pumping up Chig Okonkwo for another season. Io Manor.
That opening schedule, Ray, is rough.
For Tennessee, what do we have?
Broncos, Rams, Colts, Texans. That's got to be at least 3 top 10 defenses, and 2 defenses are probably in the top 5.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Pollard's going to get all the volume, man.
I'm looking at the chat. People are saying Cook over Pollard. We've got Cook, got Pollard over Cook. Keegan agrees with you. We got a lot of Cook. Pollard over Hendo. JRich. Pollard over Hendo.
I mean, if you want, man. If you want to lose your league, go for it.
Greg says there's no chance James Conner stays healthy 2 years in a row. A lot of people going James Conner over Tony Pollard. I think the point is Pollard is a value. You don't have to draft him that high. You can let your league mates take James Cook at RB 14, and you can get Tony Pollard 10 RBs later. You could let your league mates take some of the other names that we talked about, right? Whether it's Henderson and you'd rather Pollard over Henderson, just catch the value because he's going off of the board almost outside of an RB2 range, JRich, almost outside of the RB2 range. Okay, we got to take a break real quick. We got to take a break. So we're going to run this and we'll be back and talk some more stuff because we've got Falcons. I want to talk the Falcons O-line. We got to talk about Kellen Moore's decision, your boy Tim Patrick, and we got to talk about Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel. Maybe one of the more underrated dynasty assets in the short term that people just don't want to touch and take. So hit the thumbs up button, like the stream. We'll be back after the break. Let's get it. Appreciate y'all being in the building. It's Wake Up with Ray and Jay every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Hit that thumbs up button, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. Check out all the content over here on Ray Garvin NFL. We've got my top 8 running backs. College football season is here. Jeremiah Love. We got Katron Singleton, Darius Taylor. We got some Jonah Coleman. Make sure you check out the video. A lot of running backs that are left to be discovered, man. I think it's going to be an interesting season. And the only guarantee is there'll be another 8 once we get to February and March, JRich. But we're going into the season, preseason top 8 running backs. I was going to do top 5 receivers, JRich. I had to go 10 deep. The receiver pool in 2026, Jason, I know you're in the chat. The receiver pool in 2026 looks good. So check out this video. Quarterbacks are up. And then if you didn't check out my show on Yahoo with Matt Harmon, 12 players we were or were not nervous about on that show on Monday heading into the 25 season. Check that out. Playlist for all my Yahoo content, articles, all of that stuff is linked in the description of this video below. Jay, let's talk some football, okay? Let's talk some football because right now, arguably the 101, 102, no later than the 103, 104 in seasonal leagues. The number 1, number 2 overall running back in Dynasty. He's being drafted high. We've got high expectations for the Falcons offense. But, dude, their offensive line is getting wrecked. I mean, they are down to the backup, the third string right tackle, which for Michael Penix is a left-handed quarterback. That's his blindside protector. I think they've lost 2 or 3 starting offensive linemen throughout training camp. Caleb McGarry, the next one, the latest one to just get hurt. We continue to talk about all these teams. Dallas doesn't have their left tackle. Tyler Guyton is hurt. Tristan Wirfs, major downgrade for Baker Mayfield. What about Atlanta? No one's kind of talking about this concern for Michael Penix, this Atlanta offense. We were talking about Penix's value. Like, what is his true market value anyway? And people just kind of I like him, but not any concern about this Falcons O-line getting crushed throughout the offseason and how this is going to impact Bijan Robinson and Michael Penix, and of course, Drake May, Kyle Pitts, and the Falcons O.
I think you have to be a little bit concerned, yeah. Anytime offensive line injuries occur, you have to take note of them because the fantasy community often forgets that the offensive line protects the quarterback and makes holes for running backs and all these things. They're arguably the most important part of this offense outside of the quarterback position. This team now has 3 tackles, Ray, on IR. 3 separate tackles. Teams only carry so many tackles, and you saw so many players over the past day get cut, and they're going to be changing teams. I'm sure the Falcons will put in some waiver claims, but you can't just piece together an offensive line week to week. It's just not going to work. This is exactly what we saw from Houston last season as they're trying to find just 5 guys that can be decent for them. And as you mentioned, the right tackle position for Michael Penix is arguably more important than the left tackle spot. Right? Yep. They spent all this money on Jake Matthews because they had a right-handed quarterbacks, and then you draft a left-handed one. All of a sudden, you need to have a just as good right tackle as you do
Hey.
left tackle.
Hey.
Is it breaking news, Ray? Is it official?
Officially official, JRich. It's officially official. It's officially official. Adam Thielen. They got it done. Let's see what they got. The Vikings, what they get? The homecoming. So here it is. Panthers and Vikings are finalizing a trade for wide receiver Adam Thielen to return to Minnesota. The trade, the Vikings get Thielen, a conditional 26 7th round pick, and a 27 5th. The Panthers get a 26 5th and a 27 4th. Not bad.
So they didn't
Not
get
bad
the
for the
third
Panthers.
They asked for, but they got a 4th.
They got a 4th out of this, and a 5th rounder in 26. Adam Thielen goes back to Minnesota. We talked about this on the show 2-3 weeks ago, JRich. Like, this make a lot of sense to open shit up for Bryce Young, right? To see what Bryce Young can do. Is this going to be our quarterback of the future? So Jordan Richards, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I've been drafting the F out of Jalen Coker over the last week in anticipation of this happening. I did a redraft league last night, took Jalen Coker with the final pick. I'm like, they're going to get this done. Let's start with the Viking side of this. For Adam Thielen, going over to Minnesota, we know that Jordan Addison is out the first 4 games of the season. He's out first 3 games of the season. Yeah. Jordan Addison is out. I don't know what the Vikings schedule is going to be, but you got a young quarterback. You know you got Jettas out there. He's going to do his thing. We're not even going to talk about number 18. TJ Hawkinson should be good. But as that secondary third option on the team, this has got to be good for Thielen, at least for the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting, not just because he knows the offense, but how well does he mesh with JJ McCarthy, right? That's really the key to how successful this can be early on in the absence of Jordan Addison. We've already seen that McCarthy has a bit of a connection with Jordan Addison. They used him pretty heavily in the preseason game that McCarthy started. You know, they start at Chicago on Monday Night Football. That'll be a fun game with Thielen getting his first reps against Chicago once again. They have Atlanta, then they have Cincinnati in the games that Addison is out. But it's really going to come down to that chemistry between the two players, right? And I think the harder question that I have for you is, can Adam Thielen right now replace Jordan Addison, right? Can he do the same things that Addison does well and kind of fit his role in the offense? Or will Kevin O'Connell kind of need to change slightly the way they scheme plays because he doesn't believe that Addison is quite the same receiver that Adam Thielen is, and vice versa?
Got to trust the Trinity, JRich. I pulled up Carolina. I think Bryce Young was back in week 5, something like that. So this is week 5. Okay. Through 17. We're not even going to include Bryce Young's 40-point week 18 explosion. Here's how the receiving how the usage worked out last year and what that yielded for us in fantasy. Old man Thielen, weeks 5 through 17, JRich, 7.44 usage score, Trinity, which is in high-end wide receiver 1 range. He was scoring a 17.5 fantasy points per game. And I want you to look at what's not there. Nothing else in between. It was all Adam Thielen. And then next up, you had Jalen Coker around a 5, which is pretty good. I want my receivers over a 5. 5 score, 8 points per game below the line. Then you had Xavier Legette close to a 5, 7 points per game. So if old man Thielen, if we're flipping him out for Tetairoa McMillan, and you're telling me Tet's going to get 7+ type usage, that's target share, first downs, yards per, all of that, yards per route run, I'm going to venture to say while he may not be as crafty as the veteran Thielen, athleticism, explosiveness, he's going to be that guy. Just take Adam Thielen, put Tetairoa McMillan there, and I am expecting an uptick in usage of one of these guys, whether it's Jalen Coker moving up or Xavier Legette, and then you got, I think this is probably JT Sanders back here. Yeah, JT Sanders. I'm expecting that gap to get filled. You know, in the stock market, they always say gaps have to get filled. I expect this Carolina receiver usage gap to be filled by one of Jalen Coker or Xavier Legette. And if you're asking me, my personal opinion, I'm going to side with Jalen Coker.
Really?
I'm going to side with Jalen Coker. Yes.
I tend to agree with you. Legette, man, he's had a real up and down career so far. He struggled to catch the ball. He hasn't looked as good as Jalen Coker. Didn't look as good as Jalen Coker in preseason. Got ejected from a preseason game for fighting. But is there any world where the pendulum could swing too far in Coker's favor?
Sure. But at cost,
I think it's very small.
It's
very small.
Yeah, people aren't. You can still get Coker. It hasn't like his value or his perceived value has jumped the shark. Like he's still very much obtainable. Very much obtainable. Anybody wondering what those dots were from? That's the Trinity. Go to ddfantasyfootball.com. The best usage tracker in the game. If you haven't been around for a couple of years, like it is tried, true, and proven. Nico Collins, JSN, all these just different guys. Even hell, Adam Thielen was the guy last year, right? Hey man, look at the usage on Thielen. Go get him off waivers, get him thrown in. Go check it out, ddfantasyfootball.com. And very soon, JRich, I'm gonna just let the people know that page that I was showing is about to be free $99. Very soon, we're gonna jig this thing up to where we're adding some new features so anybody can check it out. Just go to DD Fantasy Football, just sign up for the site. But somebody asked, what's this do for Thielen? I think for the first 3 weeks, he could be a flexible option. He's going to be used the first 3 weeks. There's nobody else. A lot of this is predicated on McCarthy being the guy that we think he is, but he's probably going to be involved in the offense for the first 3 weeks and then just be that good veteran presence around moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, we don't care about that though, Ray.
Okay.
We don't care about Thielen's role in the offense.
Yeah.
The people want to know now, Mr. GQ. Where does this put Tetairoa McMillan now? Because I have been a heavy detractor. I said, Thielen's there.
Okay.
Coker's there.
Let's go.
I'm a little bit nervous. Of my previous takes. Deebo came on the show. He said Tet McMillan's going to break out in a major way. Would you say he's a value right now? What is he, wide receiver 19 on Underdog?
McMillan?
I mean, how much higher is he going to go?
Jay, I'm looking at the 5-6 names immediately ahead of him. I think you can make the case. What people are going to say is, oh, he's a rookie. There's no way you could take a rookie over these veterans. So, JRich, I'm asking the chat. I'm asking you, the chat, and myself. Are we taking Tetairoa McMillan over Davante Adams right now?
I'm not. No. I can't. Adams is probably my most convicted player this offseason. Would you take him over McMillan?
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I would still take Davante Adams, bad back, Stafford, and all. I would still take Davante Adams. Are we taking Tetairoa McMillan over Garrett Wilson?
I think you have to now.
The answer is yes.
It's the quarterback bet.
The answer is yes.
Who do you want? Do you want Bryce Young or do you want Justin Fields?
The answer is yes. Are we taking T-Mac over Mike Evans in a Godwin McMillan-less offense? Are we taking T-Mac over Mike Evans?
I think you have to.
I agree.
I think the path to top 10 fantasy upside is right in front of you.
Okay, the chat so far. Okay, the chat. Somebody said Tetairoa over Adams, easy. Somebody said over Adams, but a lot of people are saying no. No Adams. Yeah. No Adams. We got T-Mac over Wilson, okay? With this news, are we taking Tetairoa McMillan over Jackson Smith and Jigba today? Would you press that button today? Would you pass on JSN, ADP at 31? I mean, you really ain't passing on them. You got to make the choice. They're 7 picks apart. Unless you're not really getting much. You're probably not getting both of them. You're probably getting one or the other. Are you pressing the button on McMillan over Jackson Smith and Jigba today?
I think I would, yeah. But I'm very out on Seattle this year. I don't believe in Darnold. Don't believe in the offensive line. I think Kubiak stinks. He could be great, but I'm just not buying the offense.
I don't think I'm not taking him over Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm not as bearish on the Seattle offense or Sam Darnold. I'll say that. I'm not as bearish on Waldron and Darnold with Jackson Smith and Jigba as you, but I'm not. Okay, Marvin Harrison Jr., the generational one. Are you taking last year's dynasty wide receiver 1 over T-Mac in 2025?
Ray, why is Marv wide receiver 14? Like, what do people think is going to happen here?
Hey, ask the millions and millions drafting on Underdog, man.
Like, Kyler's not good. We know that Kyler's not good. This is the part for me that's like, I feel like the answer is Tet so easily. Like, it's McMillan to me so easily because I just don't trust Kyler. I don't trust Marv's going to be utilized properly. I don't trust Arizona at all. But I could be wrong, and I'll openly admit that I could be wrong. I'm not so convicted that, like, I can't be wrong, but, like, what is it that people are drafting Marv to be at wide receiver?
To be
14?
wide receiver, to be the damn generational one. That's what they want. That's what they're drafting him for, Jay, because he was picked by Arizona number 4 overall. His last name is Harrison Jr. Name the other 2 wide receivers in Arizona. Name the other 2.
It's Michael Wilson and couldn't name the wide receiver 3.
Greg Dortch, maybe?
Maybe the human Dortch.
And that is why. Because no one gives a shit about Michael Wilson.
Well,
Nobody cares.
Like, come on.
Yes, I get that. But tight end and receiver can work together in harmony. That's why he's at wide receiver. I think it's too high too. From based on what we saw, I think it's, and I'm not anti-Marv. There are a lot of people who are I'm not anti-Marv
at all. But Kyler has not shown the ability to, like, again, this is nothing against Marv. Kyler literally made us think that Marv sucks. Like, because he couldn't get him the ball. All he did was run deep. They utilized him in terrible ways. This is like, I don't know how or we even got to this point where it's so universally known that, like, Arizona's misusing Marv, like, completely. And yet he's still wide receiver 14. Because it's going to change and we just hope things are better this year. Like, I don't know. Like, I've already seen McMillan be utilized better in an offense in the NFL than Marvin Harrison Jr. in Arizona.
Stop it.
But how am I wrong?
Because you haven't seen McMillan get used in the NFL. That's how you're wrong.
Did he not utilize down the sideline in preseason? Was he not getting targets in the red zone? Was he not getting?
Did Marv not have a 100, damn near 200-yard receiving day? Multiple touchdowns?
Yeah,
did he not do that in an NFL game? So now it's a broken play.
So
now it's a broken play.
But what did he do after that?
What do you mean?
He killed you week after week after week after week after week because he stunk. And it's not his fault. He's not a bad player, but you can't live with that inconsistency if you're going to be wide receiver 14. You just can't.
So there's no doubt about it that Marv underproduced based on what he was given. I could tell you that just looking at the damn dots on the Trinity. He's below the line, but he's inside of a low-end wide receiver 1 usage range, right? But he's below the line. That means he wasn't as good as he probably needed. Expectations were wrong from the jump. So when he didn't go out there and have 2,000 effing receiving yards as a rookie, he gets buried. Dude, there's nobody else here, Jay. Like, honestly, there's nobody else in this offense that's going to pull targets away from those 2 guys at the top. It's Trey McBride and it's Marvin Harrison Jr. But this notion that Marv is capped out, that he can't improve, that he's not going to get better, that he's not going to be able to be fed as the number 1 receiving option on the outside in this offense, I think it's gone too far. The hate on Marv has gone too damn far. It's gone too far.
How is it too far? You already think he's overpriced.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's not too far. Clearly, you agree.
But I wouldn't drop him down. I'm not dropping him into the 20s. Sure, I would
never said that.
Yeah. I didn't say you are.
McMillan is wide receiver 19. But, okay, so would you take Marv or JSN?
JSN.
Would you take Marv or Mike Evans?
Marv.
And I kind of agree. Marv or Garrett Wilson.
Exactly. You kind of agree.
Well, that's because Mike Evans, I'm not.
Marv.
Really.
I would take Marv. I would take Marv.
I might take Wilson over Marv. We're taking Adams, McMillan.
I'm probably taking Marv.
Okay. That's fine.
Listen, we're banking on opportunity with McMillan. They just cleared the room out. Like, honestly,
yeah. There's no one there. No tight ends.
We're not making this up. This is what Carolina had last year at their receivers. That there was one guy, right? Coker had some spots where it was good for a week or two.
But I mean, Ray, how is McMillan's chart not going to be the Giant? Pull up the Giants chart. That's what his chart should be. this season in Carolina is
Let
the
me pull it
Giants
up.
chart.
Let me pull it up. 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 Yeah, I mean,
That's what you should probably see.
I mean, but I'm not. Come on, dude.
It won't be that high. It won't be that high end, but it'll be something very similar.
Okay. Okay. I don't even,
because there's nobody there. Like I like Coker.
Yeah,
He's a fun story.
Yes.
He's got a good name.
Yeah.
The Cokeheads unite for Jalen Coker. But this was the whole case when we talked with Deebo about McMillan, and why I asked him, how do you sell me McMillan? It's like, well, if Thielen does go, then then the path is very clear to return on value and even be better than that. But man, Marv,
and we got a Dill Esquire. Shout out to Dill. Dill has been going off about Mike Evans. So let's talk Mike Evans a little bit. No Godwin, and y'all are bearish on Mike Evans. He had another one in here. I don't get how Mike Evans is still being slept on.
Dude.
I mean, he's wide receiver.
How many years are we going to draft Mike Evans?
I don't think he's being slept on. He had 110 targets last year, 74 catches, 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. He's going to score touchdowns, but to think that he's just going to keep getting better and better and better and better every single year, he's done it. Like at some point, Father Time is undefeated, right? It's not about, this is year what? What, year 11 for Mike Evans?
Year 12.
Year 12.
32 years old.
He's 32. He limped his way to 1,000 yards last year. So let's
play of the season.
The last play of the season. I mean, they are force feed. You remember when Michael Strahan was out there trying to get that sack record, and Brett Favre just laid down for him. DB just played off coverage. Let Mike get that. Let's let him get it again, right? The great shootout that was Tampa Bay and New Orleans. No one's sleeping on Mike Evans, but I think he's in a range where how is taking Devontae Adams over Mike Evans such a blasphemous fucking call? How is taking JSN over Mike Evans just the most a ridiculous thing that known to fantasy football? Like, I don't want to pay for Mike Evans of 5 years ago or 6 years ago or even last year. We're projecting what it's going to look like this year. And yes, there is no Godwin. Yes, there is no McMillan, but I do believe Igbuka is going to factor in. You've got a Bucky Irvin. Mike is going to get his. There's no hate. There's no one sleeping on Mike Evans, but he's in a range where I would rather take a shot later on Igbuka. When McMillan was healthy, I just would take the cheapest common denominator in this offense, where everybody and their mom, every fantasy analyst is saying, oh man, Baker's due for regression this year. There's no way he's going to repeat. Exactly. So no one's sleeping on Mike. No one's hating on Mike, man. Nobody.
But that's the problem, right? Is he should be in the range with George Pickens, with Jamison Williams, with Cortland Sutton, like guys with question marks with talent around them. That's the same type of spot where, maybe you make the case for Terry McLaurin versus Mike Evans, and people would probably take McLaurin because they just like McLaurin more. And I like Evans, but to think that he's going to just be healthy again for a whole season, like I just don't see that. Last year he barely even made it, and he still missed 3 games. His targets have been going down. His receptions have
people, and then he's saying he was the leader in average separation score last year. I don't give a shit about how much you separate if you're not getting target. Like, that means nothing. It means nothing to me. You know what matters to me? Usage. How the team is using the player. That's what I care about. Not how quick he can.
Crazy.
Like, I don't care about any of that. All I focus on is the shit that usage.
High in success rate last year.
Yeah, awesome.
And catch rate.
Awesome. And he limped to 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
No one's hating on Mike. He's just in a range where I would just.
He's a very high price. Last year he was a value. And he was great at his value.
And we talked about him last year. Go get Mike Evans.
He's not a value anymore. He's a fine pick if you like him, but yeah.
Yeah. Neither here nor there. Your boy. JRich, I just want to know.
Not my boy.
No, it is your boy. Your boy, Tyler Shuck, he did not win the starting job. JRich. Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler was named the starting quarterback of you and Patrick Price. Patrick in the chat. Shout out to Patrick. Y'all Saints. JRich.
Damn, that's a hard graphic, though.
It is a hard graphic. This is our boy. I'm happy for
We
Spence,
do like
man.
Spence.
Spence was cool to talk to, man. It was fun to talk to Spencer Rattler a few years ago. So happy for him. Been a long journey since that QB1 show on Netflix. Feels like ages ago. It's been a long journey for Spencer Rattler, but he was named starting quarterback for the Saints. What I read from Saints beat reporters was neither he nor Tyler Shough should be starting. What I read was neither one of them should be starting week 1, but Kellen Moore made his decision. And this doesn't feel like the Jackson Dart's the backup and you kind of knew he was going to be the backup. Tyler Shough had every opportunity to win this job, failed at it. What's this mean for New Orleans? Are you just in dynasty? Are you just out? Are you trying to get what you can for Shough? They're taking a quarterback next year. No, thank you, Mr. Finger Guns himself. Where are you at with this quarterback room?
Yeah, I don't think you guys really need me to tell you this, but if for some reason Shough becomes the starter, just trade him, man. But don't do the thing where you put him on the block as soon as you announce the starter. No one's going to trade you anything for him then. Just, sit on him a little bit. Maybe let him play a game. And then just start throwing out some offers and see if you can just pick up a third rounder. Not even a second rounder. Second rounder is probably too expensive for Tyler Shough unless he looks good. But just get that third rounder in 26. Maybe you can get a third rounder in 26 and 27 and just cash out. It's not happening, man. This team's terrible. Like, this team's not good.
What are they? What do they do?
Spencer Rattler's not going
to
be
Jay,
good.
we got pieces of this offense that we want. We want Kamara. I see people in the chat talking about Olave. Hell, I was drafting Shaheed. I'm drinking the Shough Kool-Aid.
Matt Harmon's still drafting Shaheed.
Harmon still we're all in them Saints. Jay, give me that Kendra too. Jawan, I got about 6 Saints. Jawan Johnson, Kendra, Kamara, Olave, Shaheed, whole damn offense. And we gotta depend on the Rattler. The Rattler's gonna get it done. Damn, Devon Vay, it just clutters up the. I don't even want to go look at that Trinity for the Saints. Dill Esquire, finally we agree on something. He said Shough was always ass. There's the ass that we agree on. Shough he shouldn't have been picked number 40, but neither here nor there. What are you doing with your Saints, Jay? This is the team right now. I think they are one of the few that people are saying they could be picking number 1 overall next year. Even though Kelvin Banks has looked good, looks like their first round pick, Kelvin Banks.
Thank God.
Good left tackle of the future for Garrett Nussmeier or Lenora Sellers or John Mateer, whoever it's going to be. What do you do? Do you trust Olave and Shaheed and Kamara? Do you trust any Saints?
I personally don't know. Like I really don't. I like the players a lot, but I just can't trust them. And I think my question to you, Ray, is like, would you consider trading Alvin Kamara, knowing that Shough is probably inevitable at some point, maybe after they lose to the Giants 30-10, week 5? But would you, if he starts hot, trade Kamara for hopefully like a first rounder or
I don't
something
think
equivalent to it in Dynasty? Because that's the trade you probably should make. Whether you like it or not, if you can cash out on Kamara mid-season to a contender or even just someone who just thinks that they can put him or put the team over the hump, like that's probably the move you make because he's great, but this team sucks, man. Like, they're so bad. And you just hope he doesn't end up in a better spot next year where he is still returning on value at, I believe, would be 32 years old.
Man, a lot of people are just saying it's like Kamara's the only real piece that I want in this offense, and they barely want Kamara. Like, as long as he's there. I don't know how Rattler prioritized Kamara when he played. Like, did he pepper Kamara with targets? I'm not sure, but maybe we can look at that. Pete, I'm just letting you know right now, Dallas ain't trading for no running back. We're not.
Too broke.
Jerry is too damn stubborn, man. He loves the backfield right now. Jaden Blue back in that 23 as well. Jaden Blue back in the 23. Yeah, I'm with you. This is
BC, I agree, man. I don't know what people are buying Kamara for, but I think you got to think about selling if you can.
You're not getting the first for him. I'll tell you that. You're not getting the first for Kamara. No chance in hell, JRich. We've got clarity in Cleveland, JRich. We've got clarity in Cleveland because Kenny Pickett was traded to the Las Vegas Raiders. So we've got Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders as the number 3 quarterback. As we have really talked about it being the entire time since the draft, right? Flacco's going to be one. Then it's going to be Dillon Gabriel. And if something goes catastrophically wrong with those two, then you might get Shedeur Sanders. I was listening to some talking heads yesterday say they don't think he'll play at all this year. It's going to be Flacco and Dillon Gabriel. My question to you, man, is Gabriel cheap enough of a bet to buy in Dynasty with the fingers crossed hope that he gets the 1-year Davis Mills treatment and then you could trade him for more than what he costs you right now? Because in Dynasty, he costs nothing. Ain't nobody selling Gabriel for anything real. He's a throw-in piece. No one's doing any ISO deals to go buy Dillon Gabriel. Do you think there's a chance, man, with Stefanski still in place, they took him in the 3rd round, that he gets the Davis Mills treatment? And with Cleveland, they got a lot of picks, man. I'll just be very honest with you. I think that the initial shock of what Cleveland was doing with the draft was a bit shocking, but I kind of like them just deferring it. They ain't winning the AFC North this year, and they're probably not winning the AFC North next year. So let's just acquire draft capital. Let's stack up other positions, get Mason Graham, figure out the defense, find a running game, get our receivers in place. They got another young tight end, and let's defer quarterback to 2026 or maybe 2027, right? You got 2 first-round picks next year. Both of them can be high. Is there a chance that getting Dillon Gabriel in Dynasty Fantasy Football right now could net you a big return? I see Keegan saying worth a shot. Absolutely worth a shot. Where are you at?
I think the problem that we always talk about is it's like, I feel like Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders would be the same cost, but if one succeeds, they give drastically different returns. You know what I mean? Like, Dillon Gabriel is a player that people already think isn't very good. Doesn't matter that he's second string on the depth chart right now. People don't think he's very good. They think he's got a noodle arm. He can, decipher defenses and work really quickly in the pocket and be very decisive, but that's not winning people fantasy championships. And they kind of know that. And so while I do agree in some aspects of what you're saying in like a general sense, I just don't think Dillon Gabriel's the guy that's going to give you enough hype to where if he does start for the year, people are like, oh, I got to trade for that guy because he could be something. Versus if Sanders, even as a third stringer behind Gabriel, does show you anything, probably still nets you a larger return. So if you're saying you can trade a 3rd round pick right now for Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders, who's the pick and why? I think the answer still might be Shedeur Sanders just because of what if. And I think for a lot of people, that might be the answer.
Jay, I've been Shedeur Sanders' biggest truther, right? Have I not? Have I not been pro Shedeur Sanders?
You have, yeah.
I don't think they want to play him, dude. Like, I'm telling you, it's going to be Flacco for as long as they can, and then it's going to be, I don't think once Dillon Gabriel gets inserted as the starter, if that happens, right? I don't want to just dismiss Joe Flacco, but if Dillon Gabriel becomes the starting quarterback, I don't think that's like for 2 weeks to get Shedeur ready. It is, we want to get a look at Dillon. And he's going to freaking play unless it is very, very bad. I mean, it goes off the rails.
Multiple injuries, right?
Injuries. He can't complete a pass. It's just that they can't. It's looking Bailey Zappi-esque, right? I don't think they want to play him, man. So Phil is like, what do you have to pay for Gabriel? I don't think he's worth the risk. I'm not going to. That's why I'm asking the question, because I think you make a fair point. If one of them starts, who will the community gravitate towards to buy or get excited about? It would be. No one gives a shit about Dillon Gabriel, even though he's literally the number 2 and probably going to play.
Yeah, you're buying him for a 3rd, hoping you can get a 2nd. Like, I don't think anyone's ever going to trade you a 1st, and I could be wrong, and I don't think you should be trading 1st for Shedeur anyways. Like, you probably shouldn't do that. It's not going to work out too well for you. But I think the other side of it, Ray, that we always talk about, and while I 100% agree, Shedeur Sanders probably isn't going to start this year. They probably don't want him to start. But guess what? If your team is 2-13, 2-14, what's better than just a nice cash infusion and starting Shedeur Sanders for a couple home games at the end of the year when the stadium's packed, the jerseys are selling out,
you're talking
and the
business
hype
now.
Just gets out of control, right? That's the issue with Sanders. Is you go to the Carolina game when he started, oh man, the seats were packed, the Sanders jerseys were out, and it was great for business.
Booming.
And that's the sad part
Booming.
about the NFL is Dylan Gabriel doesn't sell tickets. He doesn't sell jerseys. He doesn't sell shit. But Shedeur Sanders is the exact opposite in every way when it comes to making real money. And I'm sure Cleveland would be a little bit interested in making a bit of money at the end of the season if they're already poised to have a top 3 draft pick.
All right, JRich, it's a sad day for you, my friend. It's a sad day for you because you are the biggest fan of this wide receiver, Tim Patrick, JRich.
I am.
Well, your boy, JRich, let me tell y'all in the pre-show, JRich is pumping up that Tim Patrick's height to me. All right, did you know how tall Tim Patrick was? Tim Patrick traded from the Lions to the Jacksonville Jaguars. JRich, this opens up the door for Isaac TeSlaa. TeSlaa to step into the number 3 wide receiver role in Detroit. We expect them to have a good offense. We know the starting 2 guys. The primary target getters are going to be J-Mo and Amon-Ra St. Brown. We know Sam Laporta, when healthy, is going to get his, and Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be a big target out of the backfield. How do we feel about Isaac TeSlaa today?
I mean, thank God we reversed our stance on him on Monday because we'd look real bad if we didn't by today. Things look good for him, right? He's going to be the wide receiver 3. There's a lot of concerns about whether or not they pay Jameson Williams, so maybe it could open the door for him to be the wide receiver 2, the primary outside wide receiver on this Detroit Lions team that we all really like a lot. But I mean, it's more of a best ball role. And can he earn some targets this season? I'm sure he can. I mean, he's already looked good in preseason. They seem to like the kid a lot. They paid a decent amount of draft capital to go get him, and then they traded pretty much the only player in his path to playing time. So he'll be on the field. He'll probably be making plays, and I think people are excited for him. And I think if you have him already, you should be excited for him. I'm honestly excited to see the way it plays out because I wasn't in on TeSlaa, but it seems like everything is going right for him, and I hope that he can be a success because he seems like a great talent. It seems like they found a great receiver that can play a role that they really want in this team.
3rd wide receiver on the Lions, ... a dynasty ad, but will just rot on your bench in redraft.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Best ball, sure, right? Especially if it's deep roster spots and he's going to get his deep shots. He's going to get his deep shots. J-Mo's going to do his thing. Good for TeSlaa. And honestly, good for this guy that the Lions, they traded to get him. Like they moved some stuff around to go get this receiver. And it's almost like Deontay Thornton. The drumbeat and the buzz around TeSlaa, honestly, since February, has just been nothing but positive. You've just been hearing good things about him from the Senior Bowl to the pre-draft process. Once the Lions traded up for him, when he was picked, we do the draft stream. We were all like, shit. I didn't see that coming. A day 2 TeSlaa. And they said good enough in all the areas that Tim Patrick thrived in to replace Tim Patrick. So Tim Patrick goes to Jacksonville. Jay, any concern for the receivers in Jacksonville with the addition of Tim Patrick? Mainly your Dyami Brown shares or your Parker Washingtons.
I don't know if I'd be so worried if I had Dyami Brown and I was counting on him, but we'll see. I mean, he could always get cut. Like, we saw, who is it that got cut today? Houston cut that tight end that they traded for John Mechie today. So it's like, it's kind of an inconsequential trade, but maybe he can find a role. They can see if he can work in this offense and provide, again, another big target. Maybe he's more of BTJ's backup than anything else because you look at Parker Washington, he's not very big. You look to, obviously, Travis Hunter going to be starting more likely in the slot. But, yeah, outside of that, probably a minimal role for Tim Patrick or he finds his way onto another team.
Yeah. All right, JRich, are the polls done? Is the Ann Seltzer poll conducted? Is it complete?
The polls are just about done. I am running one.
You're running one more?
Poll
okay, one final poll.
And
one final poll.
So
for
I did
people?
a lot. I did a lot in the range, and then I selectively picked a couple players.
You're trying to intentionally screw me over. I already know where this is going, man. I already know where this is going.
These poll results were very interesting, and of course, for everyone who's watched the show from the very beginning, we've talked about some of these players throughout the show, so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. We, of course, if you missed the beginning, we are going to be doing a Would You Rather Tyreek Hill edition. There's obviously plenty of concerns about Miami right now. Tua, the offensive line, whether Tyreek wants to be in Miami, and his current price tag as wide receiver 13 on Underdog. So, as always, on Wednesdays, we put the chat out to see where they feel about said player. I put out multiple polls, and Ray, so I'm going to start a little bit lower down the list because this one is fun, and some of them ended very close.
Oh,
so
boy.
would you rather for the 2025 NFL season, Tyreek Hill or Jameson Williams?
I'm still taking Tyreek.
Okay.
What'd the chat say?
The chat narrowly took Jameson Williams over Tyreek Hill. It was really close the whole way. But yeah, the chat took Jameson Williams very slightly over Tyreek Hill.
What was the percentage? What was it? What were it? 50-50?
It was literally 50-50. Like
50-50?
There's a couple of these polls that I had to wait to end them because they were so close. But yeah, 50% Jameson Williams, slight edge over Tyreek Hill at 49% for the final results. Again, very marginal there.
People in the chat are saying, I found out that I hate Tyreek Hill. Keep going.
The next player up, as we broke the news, I dropped the poll, so that may give you some indication as to who won the poll. Would you rather Tetairoa McMillan or Tyreek Hill?
For 2025, JRich, I'm still calling me crazy. I don't think he's washed yet. I'm still taking Tyreek Hill over McMillan.
You are in the 25% of pollers. 75% took McMillan over Hill for the 2025 season. Now we will get into the next one, the poll that is currently running. Your boy, Ray, for 2025, Tyreek Hill or George Pickens? Pulling at your heartstrings a little bit.
Dude, this is because George
Richie's
Pickens
saying, I don't think I picked Tyreek once.
I would take I'm high on Pickens this year. I think Pickens is way too low. This is going to be an offense that funnels through CeeDee Lamb and him playing with his best quarterback. The usage is there. I would take George Pickens over Tyreek Hill. I would take Pickens over Hill.
George Pickens, wide receiver 22. But Ray,
too low.
The chat agrees with you. 65% George Pickens, 35% Tyreek Hill. Now let's get to some players that are in Tyreek Hill's range currently on Underdog. Would you rather, Ray, for the 2025 season, Tyreek Hill or Garrett Wilson?
I'm taking Reek over Wilson, but y'all got me nervous, man. Tyreek. I'm taking Tyreek over Garrett Wilson.
The chat does agree with you. Tyreek Hill, 58%, 42% Garrett Wilson. Now, another name we talked about a lot during this show. Would you rather Tyreek Hill or Mike Evans?
I'm still taking the cheetah, man. I'm not as bearish on the cheetah and the Miami Dolphins offense, at least right now. I'm still taking the cheetah.
Gotta be honest, Ray. You're in the minority here. Tyreek Hill, 39%. Mike Evans, 61%. Shit. I mean, when we talked about it, people were still in. They still like Big Mike. We're kind of a little bit lower in terms of his ADP, but Mike Evans did win that poll, 61% to Tyreek Hill's 39%. Another player we discussed. Would you rather Tyreek Hill or Jackson Smith and Jigba?
JSN. I'm taking JSN. I'm taking Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm in on JSN this year. PPR machine, number one target earner there. I don't really trust Sam Darnold, but get the ball to a happy, healthy Jackson Smith and Jigba that's going to play all year and not be upset. I'm taking JSN.
You were on the right side of this one. JSN with 66%, Tyreek Hill 34%. You did say earlier in the show that you're not as worried about Sam Darnold. Now, it gets real tough. This was a tight
How many
one.
of these do we have?
I got a couple more. Bear with me. This was probably the tightest one. I let it run the longest to try and find an edge. It was back and forth for a long time. Would you rather, Ray, wide receiver 13, Tyreek Hill, or wide receiver 14, Marvin Harrison Jr.?
I'm taking Marv. I'm taking Marvin Harrison Jr. over Tyreek Hill. I'm taking Marv over Tyreek Hill.
Why would you take Marv over Tyreek Hill?
opportunity, happiness, vibes. He's right there. If I had to pick between the two and I'm on the clock, I would probably press Marv over Tyreek.
Okay.
What did the chat say?
Chat took Tyreek Hill, 51% to 49%. Very, very close. And the last one, Tyreek Hill or Ladd McConkey?
Ladd.
Ladd did win this one in the landslide, 77% Ladd McConkey to Tyreek Hill's 23%.
I feel beat up. I feel that was somebody in the chat said that was tough, not gonna lie. They said that was tough, not going to lie. There it is. Whoo! Tyreek Hill slander in the chat today. Shame on y'all. Did we do Roman Tyreek? No. Somebody said less alimony.
I thought about it.
Somebody said less alimony payments. That's why I took Marv over Tyreek. We appreciate y'all, man. We said we were going to do college today, but there was too much NFL stuff to talk about. But we are going to talk through some 2026 stuff on Friday. We got Texas, Ohio State. We got Clemson versus LSU. We got Notre Dame, Miami on Sunday. We got college football on Thursday. JRich, we're right here. The season is right around the corner. We have one super chat that I want to hit before we get out of here while the music is rolling from JR. JR said, I was offered Luther Burden and 200 out of 1,000 fab for Deontay Thornton. What do you think? PPR Dynasty Superflex. Yeah, I would take it too. Yeah. Superflex, you give me 200 and Burden for Thornton. That's fine. Yeah, make that deal. Make that deal. PPR, make the deal. Get the young youth. Get the ADV. Check out the content on the channel. Please, please, please. Like, comment, subscribe. Top 8 running backs are up. We're talking through all of that on Friday. Make sure you wake y'all asses up bright and early. We're going to have a good one. It's Freaky Friday, baby. Appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all on Friday. We out of this thing. Peace.
Peace.